Locker Room, sponsored by, could be somebody. That's the goal, at least. All right. What's up, Nick? That had to be one tough locker room to cover. Do you want to start with Cole or Montez or DJ? I know you talked to a bunch of guys.
Yeah, actually, let's start with Montez Sweat because out of all the guys that maybe could have taken this loss the worst, I think Montez, just seeing him, I just defeated you guys, to be completely honest. Like, very soft spoken, short answered. One of the first questions that was asked, like, how do you describe like what this feeling? You had the Hail Mary happen, now you have this blocked field goal, and he said it's been a crazy year. A couple of these things that have happened just this season, he's never experienced in his entire NFL career. Yet they're all happening in span of a couple of weeks, maybe a month at the most. But just listening to Montez Sweat answer questions, he did sound defeated, you guys, and I get it. Like, this was another devastating loss, but I'll be completely honest. When Herb Howard and I were here in the press box and they were lining up for that field goal, I didn't think they were going to win for whatever reason. So it's almost become normal. But yeah, Montez Sweat, he was definitely feeling it in terms of just the losses stacking up now. And a follow-up question that was asked of him was like, what's kind of going through your mind when that happens, when you get the field goal blocked? And he just said he didn't know how to describe it. And then the one word he did say was defeat. And it definitely looked that way, how Montez Sweat was answering questions, just talking in front of the media at his post-game press conference.
What did he say about the Packers scoring on their final drive?
Yeah, well, so the mindset for, the defense was, or the message is like, it's on us. And, they got to close out games. And that was the message. And obviously you see, what the Packers do. What was it, 4 plays? They go down the field, without any kind of resistance and go score and take the game leading touchdown. But leading up to that drive, it was on them to close out the game, and that Bears defense could not do that. And I think a big reason why is, like, when you watch this game, Jordan Love wasn't under a lot of pressure. He had a bunch of time to throw passes, and Montez Sweat was asked to describe the pass rush today, and he said, we got to just be better up front. The rushing lanes, they kept breaking down. Got to have a better chip plan, be more detailed, and they just overall didn't get the job done today.
So, Nick, on the offensive side of the ball, what seemed to be the pulse about Thomas Brown, and how did people kind of respond to the game plan he called, and how offense was kind of moving things today?
Yeah, if you're looking for one positive out of this 20-19 loss, it would be Thomas Brown and how he was calling plays. Just listening from, a guy like Cole Kmet, who's obviously seen his fair share of offensive coordinators in his time here with the Chicago Bears. He was asked, how different did it feel with Thomas calling plays? He said it was moving. Caleb was getting the play quickly, didn't have too many times where the clock was dwindling down. And he said that Thomas Brown just did a good job of moving on to the next play. And then he said, like, Thomas Brown, he's a direct guy, and he takes no nonsense. So I think that's how, when you saw the offense actually moving and scoring touchdowns for the first time in a couple of games, like, I think that approach is because of how Thomas Brown had this team prepared. And, Cole Kmet said that he felt good about, Thomas Brown taking over in the middle of the week, just felt really good about the game plan. So I think if there is one positive, if there are Bears fans that are looking for anything, it was Thomas Brown and what he was kind of able to instill in this Bears offense, a little bit of confidence, and obviously putting up, 19 points, which was a lot better than what they've done in the past couple games.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to build off that here in the next couple of weeks. It's 3-game and 12-day stretch, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But, one guy that I thought really took a step forward and stepped up was DJ Moore. I know you said you had a chance to talk with him, at least reading some notes here. So what did he have to say in the locker room after the game?
Yeah, one of the key interesting notes that he said was he was asked about, was there better in-game adjustments just this week as opposed to last week, Thomas Brown coming in. And he said, yeah, everybody was just listening to everybody, coaches to players, players to coaches. So they felt like that they just had a better sense of what they needed to do to correct some of those wrongs that they had in the first half to then get better in the second half. So I thought that was notable from DJ Moore, and being, obviously that hasn't been the case with this Bears offense or even this Bears team at times, but players seem to be really receptive of what the coaches were saying, and the same likewise from the players to the coaches. Then he was just asked about, Caleb Williams, what did he show in this game? And look, getting the ball out quick, that was obviously the emphasis of this game plan. Thomas Brown wanted to get the ball to, the perimeter on some of the screens that we saw that were successful. But DJ also said he managed the game well and was doing what was asked of him. So I think that was key, because I think when you can just go to the evidence, watching Caleb Williams play some of these previous games with Shane Waldron, he's asked to do a lot at the line of scrimmage. In this one, I feel like, you got the play in with enough time to play clock. If Caleb needed to make adjustments, he did so. But I think it was just simplifying some things and allowed Caleb to have the game that he did today.
You say anything about the beating he took today? I mean, he was in and out of the injury. Felt like he might not come back, but then he did. Or was that just left alone?
No, I mean, he was talking about some like those screen plays, like you have to be aware of some of the trailing defenders, but he seemed pretty open to doing that when it's successful like that. So I think that when DJ's going out and actually getting yards in some of those screens, you're going to take a beating on some of those plays. But yeah, he didn't mention anything specifically about his body or anything. He did come out a couple of plays on some of those hits, but obviously finished the game.
That spin cycle on the one was a nasty move.
That was nasty. Yeah. It's going to be hard for the Bears to get through this. There's just no way around it. 4 losses in a row. You're 4-6. The season, I'm sure feels lost to a lot of those guys right now, as far as certainly where they want to be. On the Cole part of this, Nick, he is somebody that lives in reality. How was he, in your mind, moving through what happened today?
I think there's two parts to this, because I think Cole was really encouraged and confident that what you saw today can continue going in terms of offense actually making strides in the right direction. So I think there is that part of that from Cole, but he was also asked the rivalry with the Packers. This is just the latest installment, and it's a pretty memorable one. And Cole said he's been wanting to win this game for a while now, and thought that they had an opportunity to, and they have obviously another one at the last week of the season. But there's that. It's like that. There's two sides of this, Carms. Like they did show some things offensively that you can build upon, but you still lost in the end. Like you're not getting a participation award trophy here for losing by 1 point to the Packers, and that's a big thing here.
A lot of players openly questioned Matt Eberflus after the Washington Commanders game for decision making at the end. Was there anyone in the locker room that was questioning not getting more yards before that kick? Because the Green Bay Packers locker room the players were saying they were surprised they didn't run a play.
So, okay, Cole Kmet was asked about this, and he said honestly he hadn't even thought about it, but kind of is what it is. DJ Moore was also asked, do you run another play? And his answer to that was, it was, you just got to live with it. Live with that decision. So, the biggest person I think to ask, and who also answered this, was Cairo Santos. And he said that he was fine with the marker where they were hitting at, more than comfortable hitting that ball from where it was at. Looked good. He said the operation was good. He said it was comfortable range. Operation was good. Left hash in that left to right win. Everything felt great. So, I mean, Cairo felt good about where he was at, from where he was going to kick. But, I think it was 94 who made the play, just made a great play of just putting his hand up there and blocking the field goal. So, I don't know. In the moment, you guys, I thought they were going to play another play at least. They had 30 seconds on the clock, but obviously the Bears went the other direction there.
All right, Nick, before you get out here, and I'll throw it to the panel, I'll weigh in on this one. Do you think what we saw today is from the Bears offense and the steps forward they made? Do we think, starting with you, Nick, do we think this is sustainable? Do you think what they did today, the success they had, is this maybe just the beginning of what's to come?
Yeah, I think so. Sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I just liked how, even formation-wise, how they're being in condensed splits and you're running the football and getting out in space. Like, that, I think, works for what Caleb Williams can do. And, getting the play clock, getting the play out with plenty of time on the play clock, that works to his advantage. He's still a rookie quarterback and just seeing the field. So I liked a lot of the things that we see, but honestly, it's a week-to-week league. Right, like there were positives that we saw from Jacksonville that we thought would carry over, and now we need to see what happens next week with this Bears offense. But there definitely was more encouraging signs in this game than the last 3 combined. So I would say yes, it could carry over, but you need to show it to me next week.
Well, you nailed it, Nick. It is a week-to-week league, and when you talk about, all right, Thomas Brown, there was some uncertainty of like how he would call a game. Now it's on tape, one game, small sample size, but now you face a Brian Flores defense next week against Minnesota, who's going to challenge them at the line of scrimmage and blitz, and they're going to show a lot different looks than Green Bay did. Then you play Detroit on a short week against maybe the best coach team in football. So, when it comes down to X's and O's and you've got Matt Eberflus on your side, I'm certainly concerned about it. And if it can carry over, obviously optimistic about what I saw today, but, it's a week-to-week league. I thought you nailed it there, Nick.
Nick, great stuff. We will talk to you during the week, my friend.
All right, you guys. Have a good one.
We all silly like the mayor.